This weekend is NXT Vengeance Day, a little bit later on this year. They're doing it in the early March instead of mid-February that they normally do. They normally do it around Valentine's Day, hence Vengeance Day. They could have quite easily just called this one Vengeance, to be fair, but it's fine. I feel like the card's looking pretty good, especially on the women's side. It's looking especially good. 3 great matches between 6 great talent, so I can't see where that goes wrong. And yeah, I think the only thing that I'm actually not looking forward to is probably what's going to be main event, but we will get through to the matches in just a moment. So starting off with the match I probably have the least interest in overall, it's Tony D'Angelo taking on Dion Lennox. And basically I have no interest in it because I don't really understand, well, it's not that I don't understand Tony D'Angelo's character, it's just that Tony D'Angelo in general just isn't interesting to me. When he was a Mafia boss but then they turned him babyface, I thought that was really bizarre because Mafia bosses tend to be heels. But then at the same time, it's also the case of Dark State just lost the tag team titles to bloody Vanity Project, and I can't stand Vanity Project. So it's kind of a bit like, I don't really understand what's going on with those guys. So it's just kind of 2 teams that, Tony D'Angelo, that he's just attacking people for the sake of attacking people. I know that Dark State are the ones that took him out, so he's kind of getting revenge back, but yeah, it's just something isn't quite sitting well with me with Tony D'Angelo. Dark State continue to look like a force, but then lose to unserious people like the Hardys, who Ancient, or the Vanity Projects, who clearly aren't ready to be NXT Tag Team Champions yet. So yeah, it's just a match I have absolutely zero interest in. I can assume that due to how the story has gone so far, that Tony D'Angelo is going to get the win in this one. He's going to maybe even get a convincing win like he did against Cutler James on NXT a few weeks ago. But yeah, I can't see Dion Lennox getting a win here. I know that both of them are aiming for the NXT Championship at some point, which is interesting. Dion Lennox seems to be positioned as the leader of Dark State, which I kind of don't see. I see Sugars as the leader of Dark State. He does the most talking, he talks the most shit. So he is the natural looking leader, and yet Dion Lennox is getting all the big opportunities, which I get. He's the most, he's been in NXT the longest out of all of them, But yeah, no, it's a match I don't really care about. I'm hoping it kind of fits into second so we get it out of the way. But yeah, so for me, I'm going to go with Tony D'Angelo to get the win. Following that, we have Lola Vice, a injury-risked Lola Vice, taking on Kalani Jordan in a NXT Underground match. And yeah, people are very hit and miss with the Underground matches. Personally, I don't mind them, but there's been some good ones. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what they were, but I know that there's been times where I've sat down, I've watched the NXT Underground match, and I've very much enjoyed it. This is Lola Vice's absolute forte. I believe she's undefeated in NXT Underground matches, but I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But she is going in with an injury. She has a serious injury to her hand, and according to the NXT doctor, which is probably this isn't quite true, is that if something were to go wrong here, she would end up being on the shelf for 6 months. I can't see that being the case. I can very much see her getting on Stand and Deliver in some kind of way, maybe the Women's North American Championship. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go Lola to get the win. I think Kalani recently got the win against her on NXT, where she literally tapped her out, which was very surprising, especially from Lola's MMA background. So yeah, I think that Lola's going to get the win back here. It's going to be a big win. It's going to set her up nicely to go towards a championship with Stand and Deliver, whereas Kalani Jordan, I can see her actually missing Stand and Deliver, but going up to the main roster pretty soon. I mean, she's been in NXT for probably, one of the longest of the main people in the women's division, apart from JC Jane. So yeah, I can see her going to the main roster fairly soon, maybe after WrestleMania. I know that some people have just come up to the main roster recently, but yeah, it just feels like Kalani's done everything she could possibly do in NXT. I know she wasn't women's champion, but she kind of feels like she's a big fish in a small pond at this point down in NXT. So yeah, I feel like she puts Lola over here and then kind of ends up going nearer to the main roster afterwards. After that, we have Izzy Dame defending the NXT Women's North American Championship against Tatum Paxley. And again, this is kind of a head over heart type situation because I would love to see Tatum Paxley get the win here. I'm a big fan of Tatum Paxley. I've said this multiple times on the channel. And as much as I want her to win the championship, I just can't see it happening. I feel like Izzy Dame is going to have quite a long run as North American Champion, really establish herself as a dominant heel. And then after that, either go up to main or go after the NXT Women's Championship. So this one, as much as I would love to go into stuff, I feel like it's a fairly easy prediction that Izzy Dame's going to get the win here. I'm not sure what Tatum does after this. Maybe they have another match where there's a stipulation on it, and then that'll be it for the feud. But yeah, for me, it just is too predictable to... Like, I can't see them taking the belt off Izzy Dame anytime soon, so therefore I'm going to go with her to get the win. Up next, we have a street fight between Jada Parker and Blake Monroe, and this is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most. I feel like these two can absolutely cook in a street fight environment. We know that we know that Blake Monroe can do really well in these no disqualification matches, as we saw when she was Mariah May in AEW, is what I meant. So yeah, I feel like she can do really well here. Jada Parker, we know, can go as well when she absolutely needs to. I feel like Jada Parker is probably one of the most underrated women on the roster for this past year, especially with like how injuries have been and stuff. I feel like she's missed more time than she should have. I feel like she should definitely be back in the NXT Women's Championship picture, but it wouldn't shock me if these two ended up in the Women's Championship picture come Stand and Deliver, though it seems that that match has kind of been sorted out as far as Sol, Zaria and JC go. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it'd be really difficult to have, like, when I'm trying to put my Stand and Deliver card together, I'm trying to figure out a way to get Blake and Jada on the card, and it's becoming pretty difficult about how to get them on the card without them just having a rematch against each other. However, you know, it is what it is. I feel like you say if I had to guess, these two are probably going to put on match of the night. As far as the winner goes, I'm actually not sure, because I can't remember who won the match between them originally. I have no idea. I cannot remember the life of me who won. But I'm going to go with Blake Monroe to get the win. I feel like the street fight environment does help her out. I'm hoping that Jada Parker won the first match between them, so then we kind of have a 1-1 situation, and then they can have a rematch at Stand and Deliver with a bigger stipulation on it, maybe like a steel cage or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm going to go Jada Parker to get the win. No, I'm not. I'm going with Blake Monroe to get the win. I don't know why I said that, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, so there we go. Blake Monroe to get the win, but for me, this could go either way, and this can be a fantastic match. And finally, in the main event, I assume, we have Joe Hendry defending the NXT Championship against Ricky Saints in a match that I have, again, very little interest in. It's just a case of, I'm not the biggest Joe Hendry guy, I'm not a Ricky Saints guy at all, I never have been. So yeah, this is kind of like I'm not bothered about who wins, because I don't really care about either of these guys, which is unfortunate, because also I want to care about the main event of these NXT PLEs. Maybe they have an absolutely banger match and my mind is kind of turned when it comes to them both, but yeah, it's just the case of lack of interest, and yeah, it kind of makes me question what the Stand and Deliver main event is going to be if these two, like, you assume that these two are like the two biggest stars in NXT apart from Ethan Page, who's just won the North American Championship, so maybe they do some kind of triple threat between Ethan, Ricky and Joe Hendry. That'd be pretty good, but then I'd be like pulling for Ethan Page like massively at that point. But yeah, no, as far as this match goes, I don't know man who wins. As far as when it goes, it's probably going to be Joe Hendry, because he only just won the championship. I don't think they're going to take the title off him quite yet, so yeah, I say Hendry makes the most sense. I feel like a retain here just yeah, it just makes the most sense. So yeah, I mean, I'm more trying to figure out what the main event of Stand and Deliver is going to be. Right now, I'd probably say the three biggest stars: Page, Saints and Hendry, just to have a match for the championship. But then also the women's championship is going to be a triple threat match, so I'm not sure whether they change it around for there. Or maybe they have someone new come into the main event and they do that for Stand and Deliver. Like, for example, Keanu Carver has been like practically disappeared since that ladder match for the championship, so I'd like to see him kind of get more towards the main event like quickly. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the matches at Stand and Deliver are going to be, because I have literally no idea. But yeah, as far as this match goes, again, I don't want to be so negative about it, but I just don't care. These people, I see the match card, I'm just like, But yeah, I think Joe Hendry is going to retain here. So those are my predictions for NXT Vengeance Day 2026. Do put down in the comments below what you think is going to happen on the pay-per-view. And they also said they were going to make some kind of announcement about the Women's Championship match, which I assume is just going to be Stand and Deliver, Zaria versus Sol versus JC Jane, and that'll be it. I'd like to maybe see them add Jada and Blake to this match and make it a 5-way, because I feel like that match would absolutely cook. But if it's just a triple threat, I feel like that'd be good as well, and I'd be massively pulling for Sol Rucker to get the win. But yeah, other than that, say Stand and Deliver is looking pretty mysterious right now, which I kind of like, but kind of annoyed because I'm trying to put a video together, not predicting the card, but making my own card, and I have absolutely no idea what they're doing. So Yeah, but anyway, speaking of making cards and stuff, my WrestleMania card I'd like to see is going to be out soon. I believe it'll be a couple of days after the after the Vengeance Day review, so do look out for that. I'm pretty sure I've cooked on this card as well. There are some matches that are pretty out there, but there's one match, there's a 5-way match I really, really love on that card, so do look out for that. As well as that, yeah, we're going to be going and covering through Vengeance Day and Revolution next week as well. There's going to be my top 10 matches from Vengeance when it was its own main roster pay-per-view and Vengeance Day. So do look out for that list as well as my predictions review of Revolution and my review of Vengeance Day on Monday as well. So do look out for that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.